The Enugu International Conference Center, which would have been one of the legacy projects of former Governor Chimaroke Nnamani's administration before leaving office in 2007, has been abandoned for over 16 years. The center was designed to have a 3,000 capacity auditorium, a 1,500 capacity secondary event venue, a dome with a 500 seat capacity, a shopping facility, a food court, and a recreation center with a mini amusement park amongst other enticing facilities. In August 2021, the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors (NIQS) disclosed the existence of a large quantum of uncompleted projects estimated to be worth 12 trillion naira. The Nigerian Society of Engineers recently confirmed this fact in a lecture at the University of Ibadan. It is estimated that there are over 56,000 abandoned projects in Nigeria, according to research. Since 1960, two-thirds of large projects that were done were abandoned projects. A total of 11,886 federal government projects have been abandoned in the past 40 years. These abandoned projects are spread across all the 6 geopolitical zones in the country. From the north to the south and to the east and west, they all suffer from the same malaise. The southeast has the highest number of abandoned projects in the country with an estimated total of 15,000, followed by the south-south with 11,000. The southwest is next with an estimated total of 10,000 abandoned projects. The northwest has 6,000, in the north central there is 7,000, 5,000 in the northeast, while the Federal Capital Territory has 2,000. Many have asked the reason for this indecorum. They forget that the government is a continuum, a relay race. The baton exchange must continue with each project following suit until they are fully actualized after conceptualization. The common abandonment of public projects traces to the lack of continuity in our government system. New regimes tend to abandon contracts awarded by their predecessors, especially when there is a rancorous takeover of power. Everyone wants to pursue his or her own legacy project. There is an ongoing total reconstruction and construction of the abandoned International Conference Center. The 3,000 capacity auditorium was the brainchild of the previous administration of Dr. Chimaroke Nnamani, which was abandoned in 2007. For over 17 years after the project was conceptualized, the massive project is gaining the needed attention under the current government of Enugu State. The center has a 1,500 seat capacity, a dome with a 500 seat capacity, a shopping mall, a food court, and a recreation center as earlier stated. The project will have a huge impact on boosting wealth and employment creation in the state. It is estimated that the International Conference Center, when completed, will create employment opportunities for about 1,500 persons directly and indirectly, which is also a non-kinetic approach to solving problems of insecurity. The Center for Art will be the finest of its kind in the whole of Southeast Nigeria. It also features a shopping mall, at least 1,500 capacity art theater, which will feature drama, stage plays, and cinema. The International Conference Center, when completed, will make Enugu State even more attractive for businesses and leisure, which is in line with the current administration's governance policy. The monumental project is geared to provide the necessary support for government deliverables and economic transformation, which is readily discernible in the current administration's quest to grow Enugu's GDP from $4.4 billion to $30 billion in 8 years. In a bid to speedily complete this project, the Enugu State Executive Council approved the speedy completion of the abandoned International Conference Center, the Hotel Presidential, and other revenue-generating and recreational infrastructure in the state. This was even as the current administration intensified effort for the replacement of old and broken pipes and extensions of new water lines in areas without pipes for reticulation of water in line with international best practices. According to the government, the decision to revisit and complete all abandoned projects in the state, despite being capital intensive, was for the benefit of the citizen and in fulfillment of the current government's promises to make the state attractive for investors. The idea is also to migrate the state from public service to private sector-driven economy and create employment for the residents of the state. The conference center, according to the Commissioner on Completion, will not only address the needs of the residents of the state, it will also provide opportunities for people, associations, organizations, and professional bodies to host their annual conferences and general meetings considering the aesthetics and hospitality of the state. In their own words, the ICC, as you know, will address the dire need of a world-class conference center in Enugu, not just for Enugu, but for the southeast and by extension the country as a whole. It will make Enugu an international city, especially with the international airport that has just been constructed. It will provide a major attraction to organizers of major conference events such as the Nigerian Bar Association, the Institute of Chartered Accountants, and some other world-class organizations. In order to meet up with the demand of the state, the government of Enugu State pledged 183 billion naira, approximately $115 million, for the development of road infrastructure across the state to complement the conference center. According to an announcement by the government, the approvals were confirmed at the end of the State Executive Council meeting and approved funding that will see to the construction of 141 roads across Enugu metropolis, 20 rural roads across the 3 senatorial zones of the state. An additional funding was approved for the delivery of 133 more smart schools. These projects are in furtherance of the current government's determination to grow the state economy as earlier stated. It is also to achieve 0% poverty headcount index, as well as position Enugu as a premier destination for business, investment, and tourism. Recall that before now, Enugu state budget hovered around 100 billion naira and 120 billion naira with capital expenditure of about 30 billion naira or capital expenditure to budget ratio of about 25 to 35%. However, in keeping up with the current administration promise to de-risk investment, boost production, and run a lean and prudent government, the current administration has proposed an unprecedented 521.5 billion naira for the 2024 budget with a capital expenditure totaling 400 billion naira, which is an equivalent of capital expenditure to budget ratio of about 80% and recurrent expenditure ratio of about 20%. The result of this is evident as the government is doubling down on infrastructure. If you could recall, Enugu started with 71 urban roads and 10 rural roads last year. Currently, the government of Enugu State has approved 141 urban roads and 20 rural roads as earlier stated for construction. The bridge between the first world countries and the third world countries is the state-of-the-art infrastructures which illuminates the splendor cum greatness of these developed cities. Even children born in these advanced nations are largely influenced by the transgenerational, magnificent infrastructural facilities around them, bequeathed by visionary leadership. This ideology defines the quest of Enugu State government to open up rural areas via massive infrastructural development in order to domesticate development in the hinterlands. The vision of the current government is to reduce or otherwise close the infrastructural gaps between Coal City and its adjoining rural communities. The intention is not only to minimize pressure on the aging infrastructure in Enugu town, being the former capital of Old Eastern Region, but to expand the breadth and width of the city by making rural areas conducive for business activities, at the same time discouraging rural to urban migration, which has congested the city center. The construction of the Enugu Conference Center will serve as a catalyst for economic development for Enugu State. It will also have a positive impact on the urban real estate development, accelerating construction, raising property prices, and influencing the positioning of surrounding real estate projects. Furthermore, the center will contribute to the overall growth of the city by providing meeting facilities, exhibition spaces, and opportunities for events, which can lead to increased occupancy, economic benefits, and enhance the city's image. Overall, the Enugu International Conference Center will play a crucial role in stimulating economic growth, enhancing local communities, and positioning cities as attractive destinations for businesses and tourism.